I just toured some of the hottest luxury new construction homes here in Raleigh, North Carolina at the annual Parade of Homes, where 100 builders are competing by showing off their best properties with the coolest features. Today we're going to be touring some of those, starting with 9400 Rawson, 1.4 million, 5-bed, 5-bath, 3,500 square feet. Believe it or not, this is actually one of the more affordable houses that we're going to see today. It's only going to get more expensive from here. Of course, it has the gorgeous tall ceilings. Of course, it has the fireplace. That's a must here in Raleigh, and you're going to see on most of these that there's also an exterior fireplace. This was actually one of the very few that didn't have one. Most of the masters that we tour today are going to have not only a large walk-in closet, but they're also going to have their own private access to the laundry room, which I think is honestly a great design choice that most of the builders have caught on to by now. Moving on, we have 1801 O'Keefe at 1.85 million. This one has significantly more square footage at above 5,000, and although it only has 4 bedrooms, it has 7 bathrooms. Seems kind of odd, doesn't it? When you walk in, you have this grand atrium, and you can see that balcony up there. That's something you can go up and enjoy some coffee, look out the window, and overlook the bottom floor, which I think just makes the whole thing feel a little more open and inviting. Back on the main floor, you can tell that they designed this place for entertaining. Right when you walk in, you have this wine cellar, so you're able to grab a bottle of wine, enjoy the fireplace. You have 2 different access points to the patio, and it's still open concept, very much still in trend with these new builds. Now, I really like the design of this outdoor space. You have this beautiful, meticulous lot, and it's hard to find a large lot, especially in the heart of Raleigh nowadays. We got the gorgeous fireplace here, which is a must if you're going to be hanging out outside on a fall day. I love the custom sink that they put in here, and of course, the beautifully designed gas ranges like this one are in almost every new build now. Gas is becoming increasingly more popular. Also, butler's pantries with room for a fridge, and I love this feature. Secret access to the garage. You can pull in with your car and unload your groceries directly into your pantry. Y'all, this is a game changer. Inside the bathroom, we're going to see our second tub of the day, and you're going to find that this standalone tub is a trend. It's going to be in every single house that we tour today. Notice how we still have a lot of white throughout the house. This is still going to be the case. It still makes the place feel very bright and full and large, but it's not that track build feel that we got during COVID with black and white everywhere. We still get very warm tones, except for in this room. We're seeing greens make a major comeback we have for the past few years, especially in our offices and in our bathrooms, giving it a slight moody feel, which I absolutely love. They also decided to take that same color to the second living room, which they put upstairs, which is the perfect place for entertaining. And if you do have people over all the time, you're covered on bathrooms because every single bedroom has access to its own private bathroom. 7 toilets is a lot to clean. Next, we're touring Summer Tanager at 2.25 million. This one definitely looks a lot more modern compared to the last 2 that we just looked at. Some people prefer it, some people don't. But what I do love is this staircase. The lighting just adds an extra flair, makes it stand out from other homes. Right when you walk in, it catches your attention. And they do this all throughout the house with their fixtures, adding lighting to the walls. I only wish I could have seen this thing at night. I bet it gives off a pretty cool glow. One luxury that this price point buys you is having 2 dedicated living spaces so that you could watch the game upstairs and watch a movie downstairs. And of course, there's always the wet bar. And then this one actually has some attic space that's partially finished. It's already a lot of square footage and a lot of bedrooms. You don't really need this space, which is why they probably didn't finish it off. Sure, it could make a just fine storage room, but if you ask me, 2.25 million and I have an unfinished room in my house, it's kind of weird. Not gonna lie. On a more positive note, I definitely enjoyed the back patio on this one. It was large and spacious, tall ceilings, screened in, and it had a cool feature. It was this double fireplace, so you could see it right through it from either side of the wall, and it gave you essentially two different outdoor spaces. Definitely the kind of home where you'd want to invite a bunch of people over as often as possible. One trend I've noticed with the fireplaces is they're getting larger and larger. And the funny thing is even though every house in Raleigh has one, we don't actually need them for heat. They're really just for looks. One feature I thought was very unique was this corner cabinetry with a built-in sink. Because the kitchen's just too far, right? Moving along at 1.4 million, we have a 3,600 square foot Harrison Ridge. This definitely has, again, that modern look. Definitely on the dark and moody side. It looks like it should be isolated in the middle of a forest, kind of that cabin vibe. But on the front, it's actually quite bright, so it's a good mixture. What I do like is when you enter in, you have this accent wall with actual bamboo, and that was a unique feature I hadn't seen in too many homes. In this one, the staircase is a little more hidden. I personally prefer the staircases that are grand when you walk in and they make a statement. This one didn't do that. But I do like what they did with the office using half bamboo, kind of like wainscoting, and then with that darker green that we're seeing in a lot of these homes. I'm a big fan of the backlit mirrors. I'm seeing them in every single house. Some of them you can control digitally, and we'll show you that later in the video. I also really thought it was cool the way they hid this butler's pantry. Might take me a little bit to remember which one's the fridge and which one's access to the pantry, but I'd get there eventually, and I like the cohesive look it provides. I also just think it's cool. I noticed some of the fireplaces, especially on the outside, were doing colored flames. Some were blue, some were kind of this reddish tint here. So we're definitely shying away from the gas logs that people have used previously in the past. I also like that they only half enclosed this deck so that you could step outside of the screened in portion. One thing's for sure, we absolutely love our decks here. Inside the master bathroom, I found a black tub, and I thought this was just absolutely gorgeous. I prefer it so much more over the white one. I love the way they did the mirror with the lighting, and the way that they actually put this tub inside of the shower. I think it's a much more cohesive look. They also have the floating vanities, which are becoming increasingly more popular, and the mirrors that you can digitally control. You can heat it up to get rid of fog after a shower, and change the colors. Now, we just crossed over into Wake Forest, and 1.6 million buys you a 5,000 square foot, 4-bed, 8-bath home. And this one, in comparison to the others, is a little bit more of that traditional look. I definitely love the decorative molding that they put in this dining room. We also, of course, have a hidden butler's pantry, a little smaller than the other ones that we've looked at. Wallpaper is also still extremely popular in bathrooms, especially on the high end. Maybe it's just the staging, but this living room feels much more homey than the other houses that we've been in, and I really appreciate that. And they've brought that molding into the other bedrooms as well, which makes the whole house feel a little more cohesive. However you do it, accent walls are still a really great way to spice up a home, so you're not just looking at a bunch of drywall. The way they did the tub in this bathroom I thought was interesting. They kind of had it in its own nook with a bunch of natural light. I'm immediately thinking, wow, I need blinds or curtains or something so people don't see me. But what I really do like is this giant walk-in closet with its own private washer and dryer. That's something I hadn't seen in any of the other houses. I also like how they included a balcony upstairs in the second living room so you can play games, watch a movie, and then go hang out outside. A little small touch that a lot of these other houses didn't do. On to 1.75 million off of Camber Drive in Wake Forest. This one is also about 5,000 square feet. I thought I'd see more houses with this feature, and I saw this a lot more last year, but on the front doors when you walk in, you can flip a switch and make them non-transparent or transparent, which I thought was really, really cool. Every builder does color design a little differently, but one thing you'll notice across the board is that color is making a comeback, and I think everybody who saw the black and white flips in 2020, most of us got pretty sick of that, and then every house ended up looking the same. And especially on the high end, you want your home to feel custom, you want it to feel warm and like an actual home, and so they're introducing these pops of green and blue. Another thing you'll see is that the cabinetry, you might have black, for example, in some of the cabinetry, and then white or blue on the lowers. So we're not just having all same colors throughout the house. We're actually introducing some variations, whether that be in our backsplash, in our countertops, and in our showers. Look at that bamboo wall. That's absolutely gorgeous. We saw more of these last year, not as much this year, but these green tiles were very, very, very popular. Do you think it's too much color? Or do you think it's just the right amount? You'll have to let me know down in the comments. We're now back in Raleigh at 2.8 million. This one is our largest so far at 5,500 square feet. As far as entertaining goes, they pretty much crafted the perfect setup up here. It's just really gorgeous. It looks high end, a lot of natural lighting, and you don't usually see an island with bar stools in a second living room. And because this is the largest one we've seen so far, they actually have a third living room space. Do you need that many? No, but is it cool? Yes. I also really like this office with the blue walls, a little different than the other offices that we've seen. In the master bedroom, you're going to see these wood beams. They've made their way into other living rooms and dining rooms throughout the last few houses we've looked at, still very on trend. And even though the bathroom was smaller, you got plenty of walk-in closet space. I absolutely love the lighting and the wood look in this shower with the tub built in. Just comes down to personal preference, and that's the beauty of spending $2 million to build a luxury custom home. Now this was the only house we saw that had a step out patio, so you don't have to keep up with maintenance on a deck, which a lot of people prefer, especially if they can't do stairs. It also had the gas stove, giant entrance into the dining room and into the living room, which I thought was a pretty cool feature, making it all feel like it's part of the house. At 2.1 million, we have a 4,500 square foot home on Gunnison. I'll admit, the office in and of itself was a little underwhelming. It was just a bunch of drywall, but it did have its own full bath, which kind of saved it. Didn't see that on any of the other homes. One interesting design choice they made was to put this wet bar here with another island peninsula so that you could make drinks and entertain. I wasn't exactly sure how I felt about it, but I appreciated the way that they designed the kitchen, especially with this fridge. It was the only one I saw with a black interior. Somehow it made this fridge very sleek and sexy, and I appreciated that. Believe it or not, this year I felt like the islands in the kitchens were actually getting smaller than I had seen last year. Maybe that's just me. They're still designing them with marble and, the waterfall look, and it all looks nice, but I couldn't help but feel that you were getting less countertop for your money. Maybe it's just me. Now, I know my wife would absolutely love these checkered floors, and they are on trend, especially in laundry rooms. But in a master bath, personally, I'm not a fan. I do like, however, just how many shower heads there are in this shower specifically. You're never going to have too many shower heads, in my opinion. I had an absolute blast touring some of the hottest new construction luxury homes in Raleigh. I'm curious, what was your favorite home that we saw today? Put it down in the comments below and tell me why. And to learn more about living in the Raleigh area, whether you're planning a move or you're looking for your next investment, call the number at the bottom of the screen or just click that free consultation link in the description below. Watch one of these videos to learn more about Raleigh. I'm Benjamin, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.